Significance of MiriamRing 04. Hi again. I have been recording Magdalene's blog, and a whole another view of significance has occurred to me, which I wanted to do this. And it is about the bad, the darkness. Because to really be able to portray the good and understand the good, the bad is needed as the shadow, as the dark parts in a painting give the contrast to the light. So the bad is critical. There is plenty of bad in the Miriam Ring, not just the writing, but of particular significance, I think, is the story of Judas Iscariot, which did sort of hijack book 4, and I was surprised that it did. Firstly, Jesus knew Judas was going to betray him and didn't seem to do anything much to stop him. Now, I know there's all the stuff about scapegoat and this and that. I don't really relate to that. But secondly, it was uncomfortable how closely I was able to identify with Judas. So, taking that second point first, actually, I feel that Judas experience is in everyone. And that, not that maybe we would have betrayed Jesus. Hopefully we wouldn't. But rather that we do betray our own self. And that is plenty enough to drag ourselves down into the lowest depths, really. I mean, when you think it's like you do that and you really feel you've done that to yourself, kind of consciously or knowingly, there is no hope, no return, no hope, no return, no hope of return. And it's always waiting to pounce. Given the opening, it will get you. Poof, catch you right in the back of the neck. And Miriam answers. The Miriam ring answers as the Black Madonna might. Now that is a point for a friend of mine, author Michelle. But yes, there is something real that comes from this, and that's why it's significant. Now, taking the first point, maybe Yeshua, Jesus, did it the only way that would work, that could work. And that's for Judas 2. JFR, right? Just read it. Interestingly, in the Gospel of Miriam, the teacher tells her of the rising of the soul. Whether it's in life or death, doesn't say, but this is the true Gnostic experience. And the final opponents in the final opposition in the realm of wrath were intoxicated wisdom and guileful wisdom. Just things to think about. Which Judas personified, because he was intoxicated with his ideas of Jesus creating the kingdom of heaven on earth, and guileful because he tried to make that to come about how he thought he should. And this is something we do. And the experience of crash, self-doubt of that is pretty similar as well. in the living, not in the dying that Judas did, but in the living, we have that crash of self-doubt. And that issue is reborn in Mary Magdalene herself in book 5, where again Miriam steps in with the answer to the sin that cannot be forgiven. It's against the Holy Spirit. So anyway, and the answer is practical, not any theory. It's practical, down to earth. Not you'll be saved by this, that. No. Anyway, just read it again. Just read it. It's nothing. So, coursing through all 6 books is the bad. The bad. That will do anything and everything to drag us down. Well, not that it has stopped today in any way. But it needn't and mustn't ever win. Thank you. And so, to finish, I would just like to try and tell the story that my teacher tells. It was written of the pot with the hole. So, there was a king, lived on top of a hill, his palace on top of the hill, and the gardener there every day used to go down with his pots over his shoulder, one on either end of the rod, and pick up the water from the stream at the bottom and take it to the top and water the king's gardens. There was no water up the top of the hill to do it, so he had to go down to the bottom, up and down every day, every day, every day. And one day, one of the pots got a hole in it, and meant that every day he brought the water up. By the time he got to the top, one of the pots was almost empty. Now, at a certain point, the other pot turned to the pot with the hole, said, "You're really useless, you know that. You're not doing anything. I'm doing all of the work. I'm keeping the water, and you're just letting it all go out of the hole. It's like you're rubbish." And this upset the pot with the hole, and he was very, very down. And the gardener saw this and said, "What's wrong? What's happened? What's up? Why are you so down?" And he said, "Well, I just got this hole and it just lets all the water out, and I'm no good. I'm just, you know." And the gardener said, "Look, listen, I knew you had, I knew you had sprung this leak, and tell you what, come and see, come and let me show you what has happened, what has been done." So he took the pot, went down, and he said, "Look, you see these flowers all the way down the path that are there for everyone to come as they walk up this path. There is flowers in the pot." Said, "Yes." "Well, I knew you had the hole. So when we went down, I would put seeds down beside the path. When we came up, you were watering those seeds. You were watering those seeds without knowing it, so that from your experience came this beauty, even though it wasn't maybe what was intended to go up to the top of the garden, yet this has been created. So don't be sad. Don't be sad."